Broadcasting live from the ESPN Radio Winchester studios, diving into what the internet can't stop talking about. It's time for Trending Tuesday on Franklin County's favorite morning show, The Starting Lineup, fueled by Loco Coffee. And now for your hosts, Joe Abraham and Chewy.
And good morning, and welcome into the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340, 1069 WCDT Winchester. I am Joe Abraham. He is Chewy, and it is a trending Tuesday here on the starting lineup. You can get involved in the show at 931-967-3500. You can text the show at 931-305-5611, or you can jump in on the FMO Facebook feed, which is up and running. Chewy, how are you today, my friend?
I'm all right. I'm a little tired.
Yeah, you look tired.
Miss Stacy already jumped in saying hello.
Good morning, Miss Stacy. I got to see Miss Stacy over at Rock Creek just yesterday. She did notice the spot on my nose, which Katie put a Band-Aid on last night. And I got to tell you what, I don't know where she got this Band-Aid from, but could not get the thing off this morning. It would like not come off of my face. Finally, I got like a jackhammer out and took it off. No, I've stopped attacking my face with
massage guns.
Yeah, I was gonna say things that vibrate.
Yeah,
jackhammers.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So my face is on the mend. My body is on the mend. I feel much better.
You sound a lot better.
I don't feel cloudy anymore.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. I saw you were already dipping into your pre-workout this morning.
Yes,
which is more than you were doing yesterday.
Yes, I'm only a sip in, so this energy is all natural, my friend. Which, yesterday, I gotta apologize. Yesterday's show, I think that it was okay. I don't know. I can't remember. It was I was still coming off of the CTE, I think, from vibrating my brain cells, but. It was fine, I guess. I'm pretty sure I remember we had an interview with Dustin and Dylan. I think that went okay.
Yeah, we did. We talked with them for a little while. Very enlightening conversation with them. Always interesting to hear about what they have to say.
Yeah. Well, they did a great job. But what it's like led to, Chewy, was I had a bunch of stuff that we didn't get into yesterday that I wanted to get into that we just never got into. And only one of those things is really relevant at this point in time. One of these things I can kind of bring back. And it's the fact that I was wearing pink yesterday.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, right?
I thought like you had like lost a bet again,
right.
Or you were doing it for some. You said it was for moms.
Yeah,
which I thought was interesting.
Well,
like you assigned the color pink to women, I guess.
Okay, so that's my point. Over the weekend. Now hold on before we get into all this. So Kaysen Orr is actually going to stop in this morning. Kaysen was at the Board of Education meeting yesterday and gave a little talk about an upcoming nonprofit clinic that's coming to town. So we're going to talk to him in a few minutes. But before we get to that, yes, I was wearing pink yesterday, Chewy. And the purpose of wearing pink, but it didn't land because I was too out of it to like make it land, was over this past weekend. It was Mother's Day. And on Sunday, on Mother's Day, all of these players across Major League Baseball were wearing pink gear. They had pink bats. They had pink catcher's gear. The umpire in the Yankees game over the weekend had a pink mask. I mean, everybody wearing pink. And my question was, what it raised in my mind is, who like got the idea to say, oh, you know what, we're going to assign mothers the color pink, and like who said that was what they were going to do, and B, who thought that would be a good idea for baseball players to wear pink on Mother's Day? Because you know what I think says Mother's Day, when the mom walks through the living room and father and her sons are sitting around the TV watching the Braves game or watching the Yankees game or whatever they're watching, nothing says I love my mother like, well, at least they're wearing pink, Mom.
Sure.
And it seemed just so kind of, it's gross,
Yeah.
It's not like Breast Cancer Awareness Day gross where they do the thing in the football season for breast cancer. It's gross in that it's like, I don't think any mom is like, you know what is a great gift to me is the guys out there wearing pink.
It's a good point. Brett Crabtree jumped in saying good morning, and then Miss Stacy said, "Missed you, Chewy."
Well, so yesterday
here?
was the video over at Rock Creek. That was that.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
that meeting.
Oh yeah, how did that go? Did it go well?
I guess I got there late.
Oh,
I had to go pick
okay.
up Jack. So, well, I got there for the unveiling, the statue, by the way, or I say statue.
chair.
The chair is very cool.
Cool.
So I had to go pick up Jack in Tullahoma at football practice. Captain Concussion was up there just hammering away on people again. And so I go get him, and I bring him back down, and I walk in the door. They had just finished recognizing us and the video that you did. Apparently, I think it went over well. Did it go over well, Miss Stacy? I don't know if people liked it or not. I don't know. And then they pulled the thing off the chair, and I got to see them pull the sheet off the chair. So I think it went well.
Okay. Well,
I mean, it seemed like it went well.
Good to hear it.
Katie was the only one there at the time that they said, "Oh, something about us." They said, "Thank you to ESPN Radio Winchester," and they all turned and looked at Katie, and she's like, "Whoa." Anyway, so good job by you. I thought it was a good video.
I think I was actually here. Miss Stacy said everyone loved the video. Oh, great. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
Well, it makes me happy to hear that people liked it.
Chew's been burning the midnight oil, so he was probably up here. Speaking of things burning, I think I'm going to need you, now that we got your car fixed, I think I'm going to need you to give me a ride back from Heath, because I think I got to take my car over there.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. All right, so that was the whole point of wearing the pink yesterday.
Okay.
Was I wanted to make a statement that just because somebody wears a color doesn't mean bleep.
Okay.
It just seemed kind of weird because I'm sitting there, and my poor mom, she's in the other room. This is a firsthand experience story. She's in the other room, and we're basically all ignoring her watching the Yankees game.
Look, they did that for you.
But at least they're wearing pink, and maybe they're just wearing pink for their moms.
Sure.
I don't know. Should I have been wearing pink on the couch watching the Yankees game in honor of my mom?
No.
It's a really bad look for us as guys. You know what would
I like how you said all of us. Like you're like, hey, the rest of you too, we're all
You're
we
included.
all need to do better.
Sure, you're included in this.
Yeah.
You know what would be really like a really great Mother's Day gift? Not playing baseball on Mother's Day.
Could be.
We could take one day off.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe mom's like
Take them
baseball.
to the park.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, you spent time with your mom.
I
on
did.
Mother's Day.
Yes. We watched. We binge watched Darth Maul.
Ooh, I willfully avoided my mom because I was in the peak of my sickness, and so I tried to
Sure.
avoid people.
You didn't want to poison her.
Yes.
And give her what you had.
Yes,
Which
so
is also a gift.
I was watching baseball as a gift to her.
So she knew, but
Supporting
in
her.
spirit, you were still supporting because the boys had some pink on the
Yeah.
game. So you were technically still
100%.
supporting Mother's Day.
Thanks to Major League Baseball.
You paid for the subscription to the Major League Baseball game, so therefore you are part. You know,
Yes.
you played your part.
Yeah, thanks to Major League Baseball for their pink initiative and supporting my mom.
Are you a flowers guy?
No, like, do I get flowers or do I give flowers?
Like, do you give flowers?
I'll give flowers. I don't give anything lately because I'm broke. Any dime that I spend literally would have to come from Katie's bank account right now.
I've gotten into the habit of making stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
that's a good idea. I
Yeah.
should make some. I should go pick. You know, there's flowers in people's yards. I could just go get them for this. Like
You
free.
could, and then just call it a wildflower bouquet.
Yeah, there you go.
And but here lately I've been making stuff like printing picture, like physical things. Like I've been
Yeah.
giving people physical pictures.
Yeah.
Like, because you can get them printed at Walmart for on the cheap, and then you can buy a frame at Walmart. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
that's a good idea.
people, I've noticed people appreciate that more than you think. It's kind of an interesting little thing if you ever want to give an interesting gift.
So you're saying that I could take that world's greatest mom certificate to the next level?
I would. Making somebody a thing, I think people enjoy that. Katie just jumped in and says Walter's joke.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so there's a couple of different jokes that Walter told me. I'm going to save one of them for Friday. I'm going to tell you the first one right now, though, because apparently the time is right for this. So Walter, we sit down at the dinner table yesterday, and at first I thought Walter got in trouble for this joke because that's how it was explained to me. But then he said he didn't get in trouble. But it's an awesome joke, okay? You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is totally a you and me joke.
All right.
Okay, what do you call a bird with no wings? What do you call a bird with no wings?
I don't know.
Jump in the chat if you know what you call a bird with no wings. You ready for the answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
A dead bird. That's a Walter joke.
That is so good. Good Lord, that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. That's,
Good job by him.
Wow. Walt, there you go. That's what I'm talking about, dog. Dude's going to be a comedian.
Oh, man. Yes, okay. It is a Trending Tuesday, which normally on Trending Tuesday, we have Rob Kortner in studio. I need to check, because Rob texted me last week, and I know he said he wasn't going to be there last week. I think he might have said that he's not going to be here this week, too.
Oh, okay.
But, I gave myself brain damage since then. So let's see. And we would be out of town. Yeah. So no Rob Kortner in hour number 2. But that's okay because I've got a bunch of stuff that I want to get into.
You could just yell your sports at me.
And some of it's sports. Some of it's local stuff.
All right.
Local-ish stuff. There's something going on up in Tullahoma that really shined a spotlight on something that I want to talk about. There's some resolution or something that they're voting on, and I want to talk about it because it's really interesting.
All right.
And I think that it kind of has an impact on what we do down here. Also, yesterday was LeBron James's last game of the season. Oklahoma City knocked the Lakers out of the playoffs in 4 straight games. Man. The question becomes, what is his future? Some of the other things today on the show, as far as the Tennessee Titans go, here's a question that I have for a listener. Who do you consider the Titans' biggest rival? Who do you consider the Titans' biggest rival?
This is an easy answer.
Okay.
Themselves.
Ooh. Chewy says themselves. Who do you think is the Tennessee Titans' biggest rival? And I think that it's an interesting question, and we're going to debate it later because I think that, and the reason I think that the question is interesting is because I think that the answer is interesting and unique. Most teams' biggest rivals are within their own division. I don't know if that's necessarily the case for the Tennessee Titans. Another thing I wanted to talk about today is it's Trending Tuesday, right, Chewy?
Sure. What
has been trending here lately? It's right up our alley.
The Strait of Hormuz.
No.
Oh.
The government is releasing UFO files.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
So
anything but the Epstein files.
Anything but Epstein files. These are not the files we asked for. These are not the files you're looking for. Oh, gosh. So we got a lot to get into today on the show. Get involved in the FMO Facebook feed. You can do so over at Facebook.com/ESPN Winchester alongside the Wookiee one. Oh, I still have my glasses on. I am Joe Abraham. This is the starting lineup. ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
Stimulant misuse can take many forms. It may involve abusing methamphetamine or prescribed ADHD medication. Both carry real risks when not used safely or under medical supervision. Prevention starts with education and open communication. The Franklin County Prevention Coalition provides tools and local resources to help families make informed decisions. When we stay proactive, we are stronger together, and we are stronger without it. Learn more at fcpctn.org. This project is funded under a grant contract with the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
No two patients are alike. High Point Health with Ascension St. Thomas delivers care centered around your health, your goals, your story, your recovery. From routine checkups to critical procedures, we use today's medical technology and advanced clinical practices to help you feel better, recover faster, and return home to the community you love. We don't just specialize in care, we specialize in you. Learn more at highpointhealthsystem.com.
From the 931 Weather Center, it's time for an ESPN Winchester weather update.
Looks like that precipitation is behind us because today's going to be a bright and sunny day with a high of all the way up to 79 degrees. Do got some calm winds coming in at around 5 miles per hour to wipe that sweat off your brim, but stay tuned to ESPN Radio Winchester for all of your summer weather updates.
This is ESPN Radio Winchester, where Franklin County comes to life. From local news and athletics to everything in between, we're proud to bring you the stories that matter right here at home. And it's all made possible by local businesses connecting with real people in our community every single day. When you support them, you support our local coverage. Over 75 years of Franklin County heritage. Want your business to be a part of it? Contact WCDT today. ESPN Radio Winchester. Franklin County plays here.
We apologize if this is your first time, but yes, unfortunately, this is normal. You're listening to the starting lineup on ESPN Radio 1340-1069, WCDT Winchester.
Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340-1069 WCDT Winchester. Joe Abraham alongside Chewy.
Wish people in the chat. Andrew jumped in during the break.
Good morning, Andrew.
Lambo said, King of Flop. LeBron is a sissy. And Titans' biggest rival, is it just FC, LMAO, JK? And then Brett Crabtree jumped in saying, Colts within the division, but the Ravens have had some good games in the past with them.
Okay, so that's where I'm going with it. So the Ravens and the Titans used to be in the same division. Kaysen hasn't arrived yet, so we're gonna kind of go down that road real quick. Actually, you know what? We're gonna go down this road. I have a tendency, which, by the way, if you ever listen to the show or watch the show, and you notice that I'll go into a break and say, hey, when we come back, we're going to talk about this, and then we don't talk about that. I'm pretty sure we did that yesterday. In fact, another thing that I wanted to talk about was the research that I did on you from the bed. I was in – that sounds really weird.
What?
I was in bed the other day, sick, remember?
Yeah.
That time that I was sick, that one time?
Yeah, that one time.
The one time that I didn't get the hantavirus. The hantavirus got me. I defeated it over the weekend. You're welcome. So over the weekend,
wow,
when I was struggling with Hanta, I pulled up a video, and in the video, it talked about how they went on this expedition. There was this guy, and he went to some remote place, and he went on some expedition, and they were looking for a Yeti.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, your distant relatives.
Yeah.
And they found all of this stuff, 24 different samples that they were going to test, like hair samples, scat samples, which is just another word for crap.
Yeah.
Dookie.
Bigfoot dookie.
All of these different things. They found his, like, toenail clippings. They went through his garbage. They pulled out his old used toilet paper roll. I mean, where do you get 24 samples from? Footprints, things like that. You could go in my house and not pull 24 samples out of my house of things that you think would come from me. Anyway, yeah, so they took his razor back. They started testing all this stuff for DNA. You know what they found?
Probably not a whole lot of Bigfoot.
Yeah, nothing. It was all everything else.
Yeah.
It was like brown bears, which they thought were extinct up in that region. No, guess what? They were still there.
Hey, that's a good discovery, though.
Yeah. But, dude, why are your relatives so hard to find? I don't understand.
There's some people who want to be seen, and then those who do not. You know what I mean?
Well,
Maybe I'm just the black sheep of the Squatch family.
yeah, that's what it sounds like.
I'm not
because all that alopecia you got. Squatch alopecia.
That's why I showed up too easy in the forest, too pale.
Yeah. Which, by the way, apologies to anybody who's got alopecia. It's not a funny thing, but
what is okay?
didn't mean
hold
to
on.
be offensive. It's just funny joke. We're just joking.
That would be a really funny movie. Is like if a Bigfoot who wants to be famous, but like his family wants him to be hidden like the rest of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be a hilarious. Like he's like a singer or something. And they're like, no, Bigfoot, us big feet, we have to hide. It's in our nature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a Pixar movie written all over it.
Well, you were born into the Bigfoot family, but really you came out looking all weird, and you had big arms but no big feet. So
good
it
point.
just
I
kicked you out.
Supremely average feet.
Yes.
Lambo jumped in saying, go Hornets. He says, by the way, we're in FC Rebel hoodie at the moment in support of all the student athletes. I just enjoy trash talk.
Lambo's confused right now. Lambo is moved to Huntland and is all in on the Hornets, but he also still loves FC. So, all right, we got something in the mail, and again, I'm kind of killing time because I don't know. Kaysen could walk through the door any moment. He may have forgotten about us, but I'm kind of killing time. But I do want to talk about this. So Chewy and I, well, I say Chewy and I guess it is Chewy and I. We have this dream, this content creation dream, that we're trying to accomplish with the help of you as listeners and folks who like to be entertained. But one of the, I guess, the parts of this dream is to be able to have some pretty good equipment. And in fact, we've been talking about wanting these little lapel mics for quite a while. And I pulled the trigger on them the other day because not only are they going to help us for our content creation here at the station, but also, Chewy, I was looking into, last year we were having some issue connecting to our wireless mics during the Franklin County football games. Because what we do is we send Katie around the stadium. She's interviewing students. We're, heavily involved, all these things. And at times, the mics were breaking up, and I'm like, I can't abide this. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to hear from Susie Q, who's a cheerleader, and we can't hear from Susie because the mic keeps breaking up.
Ricky called me a runt.
Yeah, you're like a Wookiee runt, a runt of the litter.
Anyway, Susie Q, you want to hear her, but we couldn't.
We couldn't hear her, so I go online and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get some really high-powered, strong wireless mics. And so I pull up this one, and our mics from last year, they were supposed to reach 400 feet, which is pretty good. Pretty good. Not the best mics, but they were pretty good. So then I'm like, my upgrade, I pulled up a set that said 700 feet. 700 feet. That's 2 football fields. Very good. Very good. But they were handheld. They were the ones that you had to walk around holding on to. Now, Katie has gotten all up into the photography. And Katie does not have, she already has, for a lack of hands, she only has 2. God only gave her 2. Mm-hmm. And so she got the camera in the one hand. She got, like, the camera bag strapped over her. She'll go, like, her purse, she leaves with me. She's got to carry around a mic. It's hard to shoot pictures with a mic in your hand, all these things. It's just a whole mess. And so she comes in, and I said, babe, look at these nice mics. They reach 700 feet. She's like, yeah, but you got to hold them with your hands. Don't they have mics that you can, like last year, we borrowed some mics from Kent for one game, and they were just little. And I was like, oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. So I pulled up these little DJI mics. The DJI mics, Chewy, don't reach 700 feet. They don't reach 800 feet. They don't reach 900 feet. They reach 1,300 feet.
Jeez.
And on top of that, they're the little lapel-y versions. And so not only are you and I going to be able to use them here at the station to create content, but she's going to be able to use them at the games, and they're going to sound tremendous. These are, out of all the mics, these are the best mics that I could find. They're tremendous. So you know that it's good when you crack open the box, right? And the bag is like satiny.
The disposable bag is like beautiful.
Yeah. It's. I mean, this is a this is a trash. This is trash, and it is nicer than half of the stuff at this radio station. And so now I'm opening the thing, and all of the things in the. So it came in a little bag.
So you got a little dead cat that comes with it and everything.
Yeah, these are the little cattails that came with it, little furry, that go on the windscreens. They came in these little satin bags. I mean, this is just beautiful.
Literally tremendous.
Tremendous. I mean, it's all they're in bags in the bag. So I'm very excited about this.
Well, I'm very excited as well. That'll be really useful in the games. So I can't wait to see how that works out.
It'll be really useful when I'm putting you on them and we're doing fun stuff around the building too. All right, let's get a break in here. Kaysen just popped in, so we'll talk to him when we come back. It is the starting lineup. You're listening to ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
Spring is in the air, and so are fresh new savings at Furniture Merchandise Outlet, FMO, right here in Tullahoma. Ready to refresh your space? From living rooms and bedrooms to dining sets and mattresses, FMO has the styles you want at prices you'll love. No long waits, no sticker shock. Just take it home today. Visit them at 105 North Jackson Street in Tullahoma or browse anytime at FMOTN.com. Furniture Merchandise Outlet, where spring cleaning turns into a spring upgrade.
At Wellworth Bank, we believe care makes for better banking. It's what turns transactions into trust and customers into neighbors. To us, people are more than numbers. They're families building futures, dreamers starting journeys. We believe care should come standard because you're worth it. You always have been. Wellworth Bank. Care in common. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's time for a local news break from the 931 Go News Center.
Franklin County football gave fans their first real look at the Chuck Reed era during the Rebels' spring game against Tullahoma. And while the scoreboard favored the Wildcats, the bigger takeaway told a different story. While Tullahoma may have celebrated like it had done something major, the Rebels won the night in a different way. They looked like a program with direction. Reed has only had a few weeks of spring practice, and Franklin County was not at full strength. Several key athletes were unavailable due to baseball regionals and state track preparations, but the players who were on the field made a statement. The biggest storyline was rising junior quarterback Baylor Hayes. From the opening drive, Hayes looked calm, confident, and in command. He connected with JT Baxter on a deep seam route to set up an early touchdown, showcasing timing and poise well beyond typical spring game expectations. Receivers Logan Polkinghorn, Mason Wiggs, and Kyron Peace all made impacts, while Jonah Holt ran hard behind a retooled offensive line that flashed physicality. Defensively, the Rebels' new 3-4 scheme forced an early turnover and brought more organized presence to the field. Though depth and a few breakdowns proved costly late, many observers left believing the foundation under Coach Reed is real. On the baseball diamond, the Rebels' postseason run came to an end with a 4-3 loss to Battle Creek in the 3A Region 6 second-place game. After falling behind 3-0, Franklin County rallied as Gus Gardner doubled a run and Aiden Hoddesy followed with a 2-run single to tie the game. But Battle Creek regained the lead in the fourth and held on, eliminating the Rebels and ending their season at 19-19. Earlier Saturday, Franklin County defeated Creekwood 8-0 in an elimination game to keep their hopes alive. Taylor Austin and Gavin McBee drove in early runs, and the Rebels steadily pulled away for their second shutout of the year. It was a season defined by resilience and fight. For more local sports updates, visit 931go.com. Stay informed and stay connected to your community with ESPN Radio Winchester.
This is Dale from Columbus, previously from the Paul Feinbaum Show. Check in scissor hands. I'm the wrong guy to ask, but what's the secret to a good haircut?
A good haircut makes you feel confident. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, when you get that haircut, you're going to walk out that barbershop, you're going to look in the mirror, and you're going to be like, yeah, that's it. And you're going to tip the barber.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and on the SEC Network.
Tune into the starting lineup on the FMO Facebook feed. Just go to Facebook.com/ESPN Winchester. Now, back to Joe and Chewy.
All right, back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340, 1069, WCDT Winchester. I am Joe Abraham alongside Chewy this morning, and we got a chance to bring in somebody that I'm fairly familiar with. And in fact, his older brother used to work for me. I love this family, and Kason Orr is in studio with us now. Kason, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How about
Here,
yourself?
pull that thing. Go ahead. Pull it as close as all the way up. Yep.
Right there.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
yes.
that sounds good. Nice and
Yes.
juicy. All right. So Kason, you are from this area, and before we get into the why you are here, tell people a little bit about you, if they don't know who you are.
Yeah, so I am the son of Lawrence and Tanya Orr. A lot of people know my dad from when he was teaching. He taught over here, but currently teaches over in Tullahoma City School Systems. Grew up here all my life over in Estill. Played football, was involved in a lot of the local clubs like FCA, Young Republicans Club, and the such. Then I went off to college. I graduated as salutatorian in 2023, and I ended up at the University of Tennessee at Knoxville studying law and policy. For the last semester, I've actually been, up in Nashville. I've been interning at the Capitol. I've been interning for Senator Lowe and for the Lieutenant Governor, which has been a really fun experience. So all in all, I've kind of had this journey from here, up to Knoxville, done a lot of cool stuff there, and then over to Nashville, and then now I'm back here.
You and your brother. So his brother's nickname is Macho. And like Macho Man. And so you and your brother are so freaking talented. They have more talent, Chewy, and like smarts in their pinky finger. What'd you get on the which, by the way, this is just a side note. They recognized yesterday at the school board meeting. They recognized all the kids who achieved over like a 30 on the ACT. What'd you get on the ACT?
I got 32.
Holy Moses. I got like a 24, but I forgot my calculator. If that tells you anything you need to know about me. Now, Kason, as salutatorian, I can't even spell salutatorian. I didn't even know that was a thing.
No, like not a chance.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing. Like I didn't know that they gave away if we were if I knew we was competing here.
Yeah.
No. So you guys are just tremendous. You're coming back to the area though as a part of a program that is bringing a nonprofit clinic, a healthcare clinic here in June. Talk a little bit about that and your involvement with that program.
Yeah, so Remote Area Medical is a company out of Rockwood, Tennessee, which is kind of up near Knoxville. I got involved with them with my two partners, so we're technically considered the community host group. So
right.
I don't work for RAM. I'm essentially getting the community ready, getting the venue ready, and getting everything that RAM needs to be able to come in and pull off an event like this. That's essentially my job.
Right.
I do it as a volunteer gig. Even while I've been interning, even while I've been in school, this is something that I've been doing part-time in the background, kind of working and getting it ready. Remote Area Medical, I got connected to them. I have two buddies that have been helping me out that are a part of the community host group, Om Patel and Jacob Alkenberg, and both of them have they've volunteered for Remote Area Medical. I know Om like a crazy amount. He's done multiple clinics, and they're both health students, so they're not really. They don't know how to event plan. They're not as outgoing. They don't know how to come on a radio or go speak in front of the board or, get a lot of this stuff put together. And they asked me if I would help them. And then I kind of discovered the company Remote Area Medical. And I was like, this is something that would be really good for this community.
Yeah.
And it kind of, I became the lead. I really have put a lot of time and effort into it. So we've been working on it for the past year. Jacob came on in December, me and Om since last May. We've been talking about it for about a year before that as well. It was really Om's inspiration that he wanted a clinic here because he's from Deckard and he's seen, the people who don't have access to healthcare,
Right.
And how that can be an issue. So, and he's seen the good work that RAM does, so he was always like, hey, Kason, do you think we could do this? Do you think we could do this? And I was like, I think we can do this.
Yeah.
I think this is a good time to do it.
Yeah. And so on June 6th and 7th, the 6th, it's going to be from 6 a.m., I believe, to 5 p.m.
Yes, sir.
And then the 7th, it's going to be 6 a.m. to noon.
Yes,
and you guys are hosting a free healthcare clinic, and it's actually going to be over at the high school, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Miss Brittany Butner over there, the principal, as well as Miss Donna Hopkins, one of the counselors. It's cool because she, Miss Butner, was my English teacher.
Right.
Before she became the principal, and Miss Dawn Hopkins was also one of my guidance counselors. So it was really cool to get to come back, and they've been fantastic.
Yeah.
Every need that we have had, they have got it done for us, and they really want to see us succeed. And this could not be done without their help and support. It's something I try to express to the best of my ability last night at the board. It was cool that Miss Butner was there. I'm talking about cell phone policy, I believe.
Yeah.
So it was cool to be able to just talk to her, because I've been pretty tied up in Nashville with session and all. So it's been a little hard for me to be home to get to work on this stuff. But now, thankfully, now that session's out, I was able to go to the board meeting, shake people's hands, go tell Miss Butner, thank you, hello,
And you're pretty familiar with the board as well, because you served in a student role with them a few years back.
Yes, sir. My senior year, I served as the student school board representative. Got pretty close with a good few of the board members. They really kind of took me under their wing in a sense. I'd always kind of been interested in law and politics, but it was there that I kind of fell in love with the legislative process, with Robert's Rules of Order. It was something I mentioned last night, that when we can give kids in the educational realm unique experiences that can launch their careers, like that did for me.
Right.
Because I think, yeah, sure, I maybe would have ended up in law and policy anyways, but I think it kind of kickstarted me, and it really got me passionate, not just about law and policy, but about this area.
Right.
So if we can do that, and it's one of the reasons why I've been very insistent on including the HOSA Club and the high school students at this clinic. They'll hopefully get to do some shadowing opportunities. They'll get to do some guiding. A lot of times they're some of the first faces these people will see, and it's something that, a lot of these kids get to go up to the hospital and kind of get to do some of that kind of work, but it's a whole different ballgame when we're talking about people who don't have insurance, the poor, the underserved, the most desperate people in our community and the surrounding communities.
Right.
We've been trying to advertise this not just in Franklin County, but advertise even down in Alabama. All the surrounding counties. We want to serve as many people as we can
Right.
at this event.
Yeah, I mean, even the number of working uninsured and stuff like that. Now, as far as you mentioned the students being involved in this process, and that was part of the reason why you were at the board meeting yesterday, was you were talking about the fact that you guys are going to have opportunities for 10 students who want to get involved, where they can volunteer and they can get this experience, this insight. And it is a unique experience, right? But talk a little bit about why that part of it is important. You mentioned, experiences that you had that kind of led you to where you are. But as they're kind of growing and trying to figure out that next phase of their life, something like this can really trigger something within them, or it can show them, hey, maybe this isn't for me.
Yeah. No, it's one of those things that I know, I guess on the healthcare side and on the healthcare front, my sister ended up going through nursing school after she had finished her bachelor's, not really intending to be a nurse. So it's something that I've looked at and said, what if she had something like that? What if she had, something to kind of push and guide her? Because I was fortunate enough to have that. And a lot of these students are already involved in the health sciences. But I think what I hope it inspires, more so than just a love for health and a love for the medical profession, is a love for the medical profession to those who cannot provide for themselves.
Yeah.
That's something that I think a care for community is something that I think we desperately lack nationwide. A care for one's own home, it's something that I talk to a lot of people about that, they leave their hometowns and they never come back.
Right.
And that's something that's special for me to get to come back and do work like this. But I want to inspire that kind of idea of service in other people, not just in this, but in everything that I do. Whether that's the work that I've done at the Capitol, whether that's the work I've done up at UT, but it's important to me because I was involved with stuff like FCA when I was in high school, and it was stuff like the shoe boxes for the Good Samaritans
right.
and stuff like that. We really beefed that program up, and that's something I was always really proud of because we went from sending like 2 or 3 boxes to sending tens of boxes. I think one year we maybe got close to 50. It was like 48, 49. I think that was my last year. I don't know if that's the correct number or not, but it was near that, and it was something that was always really special to me because service is so important to me. Serving others is so important to me. So to get to come back and hopefully inspire that in other people
right.
and show these kids like, hey, yes, you want to go in the medical profession, hopefully. I hope this doesn't scare anybody away. But to get to talk to people one-on-one, to get to talk to some of these doctors, we'll also probably have a good fair few medical students, undergraduate medical students on top of people who are already in med school or in dental school or in optometry school. So they're going to kind of be able to get a look at not just the destination, but they're going to get to look at people who are on the journey and talk to them and sit down and have lunch with them. And,
right.
That is something nice about the program is that we are going to feed everybody who volunteers. So they'll get those moments of professional development and really mentorship to kind of say, okay, this is something I want to do. This level of service is something that I really believe in.
Right.
Hopefully.
So it is Kaysen Orr is joining us in studio this morning, and they have a remote area medical has a clinic coming up, a free healthcare clinic on June 6th and 7th. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk more with Kaysen on the other side about that clinic, as well as his journey and where his goals hope to land him. When we come back, it is the starting lineup fueled by Loco Coffee. You're listening to ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
You shouldn't have to choose between quality and price. And with Flagship Lawn Services, you get both, plus the Flagship Finish Guarantee. That means every job is done right, or they'll make it right. No shortcuts, no hassle. Just a yard that looks the way it should. From weekly mowing to full spring cleanups, they've got you covered. Call or text Flagship Lawn Services today at 239-849-4033 and get the best value for your yard this season. At ESPN Radio Winchester, our partners use aligned marketing. Radio, billboards, sports, even digital, all working together to build familiarity faster and more efficiently. Less noise, less competition, less waste. A lot of places sell ads, play commercials, and move on. But that's not marketing. We help businesses build a strategy with consistent messaging and creative that's actually remembered. Ads come and go. Marketing compounds. That's the difference between buying spots and building a brand with ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
Why choose More Courtney Funeral Home? Well, they're a fifth-generation funeral home taking care of the people of Franklin County since 1905. They're committed to serving you, dedicated to providing personalized, professional, and compassionate service to help lighten your burden and help you out during these difficult times. More Courtney Funeral Home, 300 First Avenue Northwest in Winchester, 967-2222. More Courtney Funeral Home.
Got a project to tackle or a party to plan? Skip the stress and rent it instead at Reliable Rental in Winchester. From tools and heavy-duty machines to chairs, tables, and event essentials, they've got what you need to get the job done right. Whether it's work or a weekend celebration, Reliable Rental makes it easy. Stop by 2433 Deckard Boulevard in Winchester or check out everything they offer online at ReliableRentalFC.com. Reliable Rental. When you need it, they've got it.
I don't know what to tell you. I know it's not much, but this is the best they've got. You're listening to the starting lineup on ESPN Radio, WCDT Winchester.
Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester. We're talking to Kason Orr about an upcoming free healthcare clinic, and it is for remote area medical. Now, stop me if I'm lying here. This is a nonprofit type of thing?
Yes. So remote area medical, again, it is, I try to be very clear. I don't work for remote area medical.
Right.
I essentially just volunteer for the community. But remote area medical is a nonprofit. It was founded, I want to say, sometime in the 70s or the 80s, but I might not have the exact date on that for you. But it was founded, pushed really hard for Tennessee. It's, in my opinion, it's one of the things that Tennessee does best in terms of some of its laws allow doctors from across borders, across state borders, to get to come over. I know in some of the talk with some of their policy people, you know, sometimes they'll be going to a clinic up in Alaska.
Oh, wow.
Or they'll be in California. I mean, they go do clinics just about everywhere. But like the issue, and this is might not be exactly correct, but it's kind of hyperbolic, is like in Alaska, if you're a doctor from Tennessee, you can go. But if you're a dentist from Tennessee, you can't. And Tennessee is one of the few states in the country that for these type of events is pretty open for people, you know, no matter whether they're doctors, optometrists, dentists, to come in, help people, and then obviously return to their states.
It would make sense that if we're talking about from a non-profit standpoint, from a volunteer standpoint, that and serving the underserved, that there would be a kind of a lower barrier to entry type of thing, and making that happen. So I think that it's really cool. Now, if somebody has a young student who's interested in getting involved in the program as one of the 10 volunteers, how would they go about doing that?
So the best way is, especially for our kids up at the high school, at Franklin County High School, would be to reach out to the local chapter of HOSA. That has been our main point of contact. Miss Crabtree, Miss Modisette have been the people that we've been working with on this. For those who are actually over 18 but still in school, they can actually volunteer.
Oh, wow.
Irregardless, they can just sign up. Just go to www.ramusa.org. There should be a volunteer button there, and you just look up when you're registering Winchester 26.
Is that limited to within the 10, or is that outside of the 10?
If you are over the age of 18, that is, as many people can register as they want. It also does count for Tennessee Promise Hours, which is something that's really good, even if you are over 18, but you know you're about to go to college. That's something that you can come get your hours at. We're definitely looking for volunteers. As many as we can get.
Yeah, and I think that would be a tremendous thing. You talked about it a little bit yesterday, putting it on your resume, putting it on your applications and things like that. Like, hey, I've served in this capacity. I've got some interesting insight, some unique insight. And then for folks who maybe want to attend, or if we've got listeners who know of folks who need some services, whether it be dental or other healthcare services, how would they participate in the event on June 6th and 7th?
Yeah, so the great thing about remote area medical is things that you need to bring any medications that you're on. It would be nice if you could bring some sort of medical history, things along that line, but you do not have to bring any medical insurance, anything beyond that in terms of trying to pay for it. It's all completely free. We don't need proof of income. We don't need proof of insurance. So essentially, you will come to Franklin County High School on the 6th or the 7th. Our parking lot crew, which will most likely be headed by myself, will give you a number. We'll put it on the inside of your thing, and we'll start registering you. If you do want to come, please bring your cell phone. Please bring it charged. While we will hopefully maybe have some ways that you can register if you don't have a cell phone, some sort of device to be able to go ahead and register is going to speed you up in terms of getting inside the clinic.
Right.
Because we already know your medical history. We already know things, so we can already go ahead and pull you in, get you through triage. So from there, you'll either decide that you want a dental service or you'll want an eye service, but everybody gets medical service. So you kind of get one or the other on eye or dental. The dental floor is usually one of the highlights. It's going to be up in the gym. They will do all sorts. They'll do cleanings, they'll do extractions, and they'll do fillings. They will really do as much as they can while they have you there. And then for eye exam, we actually have a glasses truck that will make your prescription glasses, put them in a frame, and give them to you for free.
Oh, wow.
So
On site?
Yeah, on site. So it's something that we'll go ahead and give those to you. A lot of times we try to put you in, if you want an eye exam,
right,
we'll put you through eyes, get your glasses started, we'll put you in medical, you'll get checked out, then you'll come out, we'll give you your glasses, and you're good to go. Typically, somebody was going to spend about 2 to 3 hours at this clinic. And then medical, we will have women's health services. We already have a few OBGYNs signed up, which have been very gracious. There's some of RAM's rock solid people that come to a ton of clinics, so I'm super excited to have them.
Well, that was going to be one of my next questions is from a medical standpoint, does RAM need local medical volunteers?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We have, I know I've been talking to quite a few people trying to see and engage interests. Right now, our biggest need, because because I unfortunately cannot help myself but shoot for the moon, we are shooting for RAM's biggest clinic, which is a 40-chair clinic. This involves 30 dentists, and I know I've been talking to the local Tennessee Dentist Association with Dr. Garrett Orr. So we've been doing pretty good on there, and then fortunately it seems like Lincoln Memorial University up in Knoxville's, that dental school is hopefully also going to send some volunteers.
Right.
Again, going back to the whole, hopefully some of these students will get a perspective of the student, not just your, people who've already arrived, already got their licensure. But then some of our biggest needs are going to be nurses and optometrists.
Okay.
Those are probably our two biggest needs right now. We really like to stock up the nurses because they do our triage, so they do a lot of our entry care, getting you ready, making sure if you're going to the dental floor, we can do this kind of stuff to you. If you're going to the medical side, this is the kind of stuff we need to do for you. So those are kind of the biggest things, and it's also, it's fair to say for anyone who is wanting to volunteer, we will feed you. We understand that it's a long day, but we will feed you, and you do not have to volunteer both days. You can volunteer one or the other. I know a lot of people, even myself, I'm still going to be at the clinic, but Sundays, a lot of days, people go to church, and they want to go to church. So that's something that we're perfectly fine with. But we definitely do need medical professionals. We will take anybody and everyone who is either a dentist, an optometrist, general medical professional in terms of if you can do a general medicine physician, that kind of stuff, give out physicals.
Right.
If you can do that, or if you're a nurse, we need all of that. And it's, we can fill roles with Lincoln Memorial students or, pull from here or there, but we really do like to keep it local because we want these people, if let's say you're a nurse at the hospital and you come and you help somebody here, if they ever have to go to the hospital, then that's a familiar face for them. We want to keep it as local as possible, but also understand that the amount of dentists, for example, is very high. We need 30 dentists overall. That is a lot of dentists for Franklin County.
Yeah, for this area. Yeah, certainly.
So it's one of those things that you're going to have outside help. You're going to have people who are not necessarily from Franklin County. Maybe we've also been looking at ones Tullahoma, all the surrounding counties. But you do come with it that there is going to be some outside people. But ultimately, we want to maximize the amount of people who are local medical professionals.
So I guess wrapping up the line of questioning, do you guys handle Wookiee care? Because I've got a Wookiee, and he probably needs some medical care. My concern is that when we stick him in a dental chair, he's going to need at least 3 bodies around him. One to hold him down, one to wipe his tears, and one to actually do the work.
So that would be some cutting edge medical care, I will say. But me personally, not as a medical professional, would love to see it. From a non-medical professional standpoint, I think it would be awesome.
Yeah.
I think it would be a hoot and a holler to witness.
Yeah. He suffers from Wookiee alopecia, as we discussed earlier today. That's kind of why he's the black sheep of the family.
So no xenobiologists are going to be there, probably. Yeah,
No.
Probably not. Probably not. But,
Zoologist.
I'll check on that.
Yeah,
For you, though.
I appreciate you,
Right.
Frank.
I'll check around and see what I can find out.
It'll be pretty interesting to try and pull out some of those canines. All right. Well, I really appreciate it. Again, Kaysen Orr coming in this morning and joining us here on the show. It is the Remote Area Medical Clinic coming up on June 6th and 7th. Again, free health care. The idea is to help those who are uninsured, underinsured, folks who have low income to no income, all of that. It's a nonprofit type of scenario, and they're going to be there on the 6th from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on the 7th from 6 a.m. to noon. And again, Kaysen, one of Franklin County's own, coming back to the community. I really appreciate the work that you're doing, not only for the community, but it just in general for humanity. I mean, so for people who may not know, and we're about to hit the break here, but you're actually up there at the state level. Your goal is to get into politics and kind of, we talked about the stigma in the break a little bit that surround politics, but it doesn't have to necessarily be that way. You were part of the Young Republican Club. You're one of our very own, and I know that you've got the kind of the right mindset going into this whole thing. But from your standpoint, and just talking about yourself, what drives you, and why is this something that is on your heart to get into?
Yeah. So, strangely enough, because I know a lot of people think of politics as a godless profession, it does go back to my faith. I think my faith calls me first to love people, and then secondly to leave things better than I found it. This community poured into me so much and is such a great community, but that is not saying that there are not things that could be helped.
Yeah.
I saw good and bad, the education system, for example. Everything good has happened for the past 20 years and everything bad that has happened both at the state and local level. I'm a result of that. So to me, it's inspired by both of these things that I want to leave this area better than I found it. My dad always jokes with me when I'm heading off to school or work or whatever. He always pats me on the back and says, well, you better get on the road because you got a world to save, because I'm always speaking about it so hopefully and so, forward-looking in progress and such. And I don't look at it. I look at it because I can't save the world. There's only one man who did save the world, and that's the Lord Jesus Christ. But it is fair to say that I can save my world. I can save my world and make my area better than I found it.
Right.
And ultimately, I think if, going about what we were talking about earlier about service, if more and more people had that mentality, got away from the stigma and said, I just want to serve my community and make it better.
Right.
And I'm focused on Franklin County.
Right.
I'm not focused on Nashville or Washington or, wherever. I'm focused on where I'm from. I'm going to go back to where I'm from. I'm going to help them. I'm going to do everything I can to pour in like people poured into me.
Yeah. Understanding the needs of the community that you came from and attacking those problems, those challenges. Yeah. Well, that's tremendous, brother. I really appreciate you. I appreciate your family. Tell your brother I said hey. And thank you. Thank you for serving Franklin County and bringing this event to us. Again, June 6th and 7th is the date of the event. We'll have more information for you, and we'll probably have Kaysen back in here as we draw closer to the event as well. We'll hit hour number 2 when we come back. Thank you very much, Kaysen.
Yeah.
This is ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
Why choose More Courtney Funeral Home? Well, they're a fifth-generation funeral home taking care of the people of Franklin County since 1905. They're committed to serving you. dedicated to providing personalized, professional, and compassionate service to help lighten your burden and help you out during these difficult times. More Courtney Funeral Home, 300 First Avenue Northwest in Winchester, 967-2222. More Courtney Funeral Home.
Got a project to tackle or a party to plan? Skip the stress and rent it instead at Reliable Rental in Winchester. From tools and heavy-duty machines to chairs, tables, and event essentials, they've got what you need to get the job done right. Whether it's work or a weekend celebration, Reliable Rental makes it easy. Stop by 2433 Deckard Boulevard in Winchester or check out everything they offer online at reliablerentalfc.com. Reliable Rental. When you need it, they've got it.
When life hits you hard, you need someone who will stand up and fight back for you. Andy Davis, attorney at law, serves Southern Middle Tennessee in personal injury, criminal defense, family law, bankruptcy, and more. Call today to set up your free consultation, where you'll get clear answers, honest guidance, and a plan built around your needs. Online at southerninjurylaw.com. This is an advertisement. Andy Davis, attorney at law, responsible for content. No representation is made that the quality of legal services is greater than that of other lawyers.
The future of healthcare starts here. The Southern Tennessee Regional Health System, Winchester and Suwannee, are joining the High Point Health System with Ascension St. Thomas, a health network serving communities across the state. We're working together to expand access, improve clinical quality, and keep you close to home throughout your care journey. Your favorite providers aren't going anywhere. It's the same care you know and trust, now with a new name. High Point Health with Ascension St. Thomas. Learn more at highpointhealthsystem.com.
Looking to make a difference in Franklin County? The Franklin County Prevention Coalition works every day to build a safer, healthier community, free from substance misuse. Through education, outreach, and strong local partnerships, they empower parents, schools, and leaders to prevent addiction and support positive choices. From youth programs to community events, the coalition is here for you. Learn more or get involved today at fcpctn.org. Together, we prevent.
This project is funded under a grant contract with the State of Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
Good morning, Deckard.
Good morning, WCDT.
How are you guys out there this morning?
We are wonderful on this Tuesday morning. How are you guys?
We're a little sleepy out here. Maybe you guys can help wake us up with a really, really good pledge.
We've got 8 very excited kindergartners ready to pledge their hearts out.
All right, let's hear it.
Good morning, Franklin County. Please join Deckard Elementary. Please stand. Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's an incredible pledge this morning. Thank you, guys.
Great one, wasn't it? All right, come on up. I'm Kamari. I'm Kamari. And I have the joke. What happens when a lightning bolt is a joke? When a lightning bolt is a joke.
I don't know.
It cracks stuff.
That was a really cute one out there, Deckard. All right, y'all have a wonderful day, okay?
You guys too.
See ya.
All right, back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester. Chewy, I think that we might need to start a new segment on the show. So I came across this guy, this morbid facts thing.
Morbid
facts.
Yeah,
Episode part 380. I think the new segment needs to be called "Things Joe Learned While He Was Sitting on the Toilet This Morning." So apparently, Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander, received a 12-month prison sentence for a bar fight that he got in Spain, and he got out of it somehow. I didn't know. Like again, he paid the guy like $4,000, and the prison sentence somehow magically went away.
Oh,
yeah. So there's that.
Okay.
But
was that the morbid fact?
Yeah, that was a weird. But
Oh,
no.
okay.
So then it does like multiple ones
right.
in one video,
Like
so,
a little compilation.
Yeah. So that was the first part of this compilation. I thought that was very interesting. But the second thing was bears in Russia. Mm-hmm. Bears in Russia apparently sometimes get so desperate for food in summer months that they will tear up recently deceased bodies in cemeteries for food.
Wow.
Like
Now,
they'll start just digging up bodies.
I have heard of like the Kodiak bears with like those like Russian army bases where you've got a guy who went outside the walls for like 3 minutes,
right?
And all they find is just a bloody boot left over.
Whoa.
Because it was waiting on him. Like the bears, when you go, like polar bears are so smart that they'll just wait you out and just stalk you. Could you imagine being stalked by a bear? That is the most horrifying idea. And they're patient. Which makes it, I don't know why, but it makes it creepy. You know what I mean? Where it just
Takes
sits
Cocaine
and
Bear
waits.
to a whole new level.
Yeah.
Then the last one, though, and this was pretty sad. Brian Banks, he's a former American football player, which he played in the NFL for the Atlanta Falcons. He was accused of rape and spent 6 years in prison. And then the woman who accused him basically said that it was a lie.
Oh.
And so he was released from prison. Spent 6 years in prison just because she
lied.
Yeah. Anyway, that's stuff that I learned on the toilet with Joe.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of the starting lineup.
Anyway, all right. So thanks to Kaysen Orr for coming in. I think that's a really cool what he's got going on and his work with Ram. I'm really excited about that. And again, June 6th and 7th, we'll have more information on that. Chewy, it is a Trending Tuesday, my friend. And one of the things that has been trending here as of late are the UFO files the government has released courtesy of Donald Trump. Donnie, and listen, I'm not saying that aliens are real, but I am interested in the fact that the government suddenly got really comfortable admitting that they've seen some really weird stuff.
Yeah. It's almost like they're trying to change the topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is tough because these days you don't know which way to look, right? You're like, over here, I'm going to look at hantavirus boat. And then over here, UFO files. But the real question is, like, where does the media and the government have us looking like that when really we should be looking somewhere else? Where should we be looking instead of looking, at the thing, that's shiny object that they put out there, right? But I wanted to get your thoughts on it. Have you seen any of the UFO files? Are you interested in that whole thing?
I've seen a few. I'm not really interested in them too much. I don't know. Like, for me, I'm only really interested if it's if we get some sort of wave from a little green man,
right?
Or some other intelligence that maybe we are missing, whether that be like a radio signal, a light, or something like that. UFOs, I mean, the unidentified aerial phenomenon, as they're calling them now, UAPs. That is all it is for me. It doesn't really mean anything unless we've got a ship. It's just lights in the sky. It doesn't. And just mathematically, it doesn't make sense to me for there to be little green men on there. So my interest dips. Also, with the current state of the world, I feel like half of this is just, like you said, trying to hide you from something else. There's no.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal, and this is my perspective on the whole scenario. Number one, if aliens were real and they came to the Earth and like watched Congress argue or watched the Jaguars finish 8 and 9, they would probably be pretty bored. What I would say is that initially they would search around and they would look at some of these high-profile things and be like, "Meh, this is pretty lame," until they came upon the starting lineup. And I think that if aliens tuned into our show, we would be the first to know that they were here because they would catch wind of this tremendous performance that we put on each and every morning. And, we may be responsible for bringing them out of the shadows, Chewy. Bless you.
Come and rescue me.
Yeah.
They're like, that poor man's being tortured.
Yeah, sure.
He's having to hang out with humans.
Yeah, they'd probably be, hey, it's one of us.
Brett Crabtree says, watch the movie Don't Look Up. It's based on the whole keep your head down and don't pay attention to anything else around your idea.
Is that the one with the comet thing that's coming to Earth and it's going to destroy the Earth? I can't remember. Anyway, so, yeah. I don't know.
I think it's interesting, but
There
show
are
me,
some-
show me.
yeah.
Show me the ship.
There are some weird things on video. Like, there are some things that pilots have seen. But you know what really kind of pisses me off about all of these videos?
Uh-huh.
And I use that word not lightly, because I would use a different word. How come? I mean, we're talking about the most sophisticated, like, vehicles in man's history. These airplanes that we're flying around are worth millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And you're telling me that that's the best camera that we can put on these things?
Yeah.
What the heck is that thing? Like, what? How come it looks like it was shot in 1920 on some sort? And don't tell me, well, it's a special infrared, this, that, and the other thing camera. I mean, can we not improve the technology to where the camera is better than that piece of garbage? What am I looking at? It's a blob. I'm looking at a blob.
It's a good point. It's a good point. You telling me that we can have high resolution pictures of the moon from Earth? We can't get one good picture of your little flying saucer?
Yeah.
Yeah. See what I mean?
Well, and two, these days, everybody's carrying around a camera with them.
Right.
And although there has been an uptick, I would say, in like the sightings and stuff like that, you never, outside of AI, you never see anything that pops up online and you're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
You never see I mean, the fact that we've got billions and billions of eyes watching at all time and there's just never been nothing, not real, not substantial. There's never been any, real hard evidence that has been filmed. It all looks fake. It all looks, and there's no proof of anything. That to me is what kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good point. Just mathematically, it doesn't make sense because, like, if you think about it on a mass scale, how many beings in one galaxy alone could have the evolutionary pressures to both leave their planet and do it so successfully that they go and see other ones whenever they want? You're talking about a handful of, like, maybe 3 species.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, on a universal scale, millions. But for a locality,
I don't know.
and also, what makes us very interesting at all? Anyway?
We're not.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
that's the main problem that I have with it. Is like, there's nothing inherently interesting about us, I would say.
Well, so I do think that we've got some pretty interesting characters here in Winchester. I mean, if they were to come, and this is what I go back to, if they were to come down to this planet, I could definitely see them wanting to get involved in Where's the Beef Wednesday when you got you, me, and a humpback swamp donkey all in one room. I mean, that I would drive across the galaxy for that.
We're like that little truck stop radio station, 3 a.m. pulling up, and that's what they're doing.
Well, and our signal sucks, so they got to come close
Right, they
to be
gotta
able to
get
hear it.
really close.
They got to be like in the parking lot to
On
hear
a
it.
cosmological scale, they're right in the backyard.
Yeah,
You know.
Yeah. Kevin Simmons says they're out there. And I was the other thing that brought this into my head is yesterday I was watching this show and it was like Unclassified with David Duchovny, and I freaking love the X-Files. I love David Duchovny, but man, is he getting old. I think that he's a national treasure. That man.
Brett Crabtree jumped back in with a stab saying, it's about the people thinking we landed on the moon.
Yeah. He's coming after you.
Yeah,
He
I
knows.
got it.
He knows what he's doing.
That's okay.
Okay,
That's why
so
we love Brett.
So speaking of alien species, Tullahoma has some interesting things going on.
legend.
Listen, I didn't do that whole segment to set up that transition. This just comes to me, okay? No, so here's the thing. So Tullahoma has something going on, and I want to paint this picture for you from the way that I came across it, because I'm not involved in Tullahoma politics. I don't know what's going on. Heck, I barely got enough time to make it to our own school board meetings, much less care about what's going on up in that town up north. So they have a unique set of challenges, right? Very similar to ours in some ways, in that there are two types of people. There are people within the community that are really pushing hard for growth, and it's my understanding that the mayor up there in the city of Tullahoma is one of those people who really wants to grow. Now, Tullahoma is also uniquely placed in that it is right there. You've got Shelbyville's 15 minutes to the north. You got Moore County's 15 minutes to the west. You got Coffee County's 15 minutes to east. You got Franklin County that's 15 minutes to the south. Winchester that's 15 minutes to the south. And so they're in a really good spot, which is why they get a lot of this stuff, is because they're centrally located to all of these different little towns. Now, the challenge that they've got from a government standpoint is that they are a freaking disaster. And I say that with all love, because I know a lot of these people up there. I know Daniel Barry and all these people. But I do want to point something out, Chewy. And this is something that is kind of an epidemic in a lot of small towns. And I want to point this out from a Franklin County standpoint. Like, this is the way to not do things, right? And it's always fun to use Tullahoma as an example of something like this. So Daniel Barry and the city attorney and the mayor, they're always getting into it. There's always some sort of alderman drama, all this stuff up there in the city of Tullahoma. But here's the latest thing. There was a resolution number 2045 was pulled tonight, not because the board found its conscience, but because Mayor Seaborn forgot to add the second reading. So now this whole article and this whole blow up and this whole situation here as of late, they had a meeting, and there is a resolution apparently 2045. Now, I can't tell you what the resolution 2045 is about from an outsider looking in, because none of the conversation has been about resolution 2045 here as of late. Now, there are people who up there know about resolution 2045, and I'm sure they know it in and out, and they know what it's all about. But for a lot of people, like me, this is the first time that they're hearing about resolution 2045, and they're not hearing about it because of the meat of the resolution. They're hearing about it because of the people involved in the resolution, and the mayor's antics, and the city attorney's antics, and Daniel Barry's antics. And this whole thing is about these individuals rather than what's best for the city or what resolution 2045 even is. Now, regardless of which side of the resolution that you stand on, the city attorney apparently at this meeting turned around and started shouting at Daniel Barry and other residents, and they started having this back and forth. And then you had an alderman calling for decorum, and then you had the mayor telling the alderman to stop telling the city attorney to stop behaving like a child, and all these other things. I mean, it was a bleep show. And what I'd like to say is, and we have tough conversations on the show. Oh, tough conversations. You know, again, perspective, people. Our tough conversations are not life and death. It's how can we get better as a community? How can we work together, respecting one another, to get better as a community? Because if we don't respect one another, then we've already lost the battle, right? If the goal is to get better as a community, well, that starts with respect for one another. You can't have a discussion, even an argument, without respect and find a better solution. That's the first and foremost whole point of this thing. It doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong. If you lose the ability to respect one another, then we've lost. And this situation has become more about these people and how they're treating people and each other than it is about the resolution and what's best for the city and about treating people with respect and all of these things. And so the ironic thing is both sides are wrong because of how they're treating one another. And both sides are wrong because it's not about the resolution anymore. The argument, if the argument becomes more about you, if you become the center of attention as opposed to your body of work or it should not be about your personality. It should not be about how you treat people. It should not be, about the drama that you stir up. It should be about the meat. It should be about the resolution. And so if we get into these things on a local level and you find yourself in the position where you're calling people names or you're disrespecting people because either you don't like what they have to say or you don't like how they're talking to you, and it all, if it starts to turn into that, then we've lost. Focus on the point of the conversation. And if you are in the middle of it, if you become the point of the conversation, if you become the topic, then you probably have lost sight of what matters. From a station standpoint, that's the hard thing about having these conversations is a lot of times I piss a lot of people off by what I have to say. But my goal is, and Chewy, our goal as a community should be to keep the focus on the thing. It shouldn't be about, oh, Joe's a jerk, Joe's an asshole. Let's hate on his opinion. Pull me out of it. Let's just talk facts. And you may not like what I have to say because I'm saying the facts. You may not like what those facts are saying. But it should never be about me. It should never be about you. And if we get involved in the process, and if we can get more people involved in the process, same thing. Same thing. If you're going to the polls, in a few months, we're going to have a huge election for sheriff. And if you're going to the polls, you're talking about two individuals, two people that you're voting on, one or the other. But even in that case, are you voting on the person or are you voting on the meat of their body of work, what they stand for? If you're voting on a resolution, is it because you like the person over here who's pushing to one side of it, so you're voting for that person's opinion or that relationship that you have for that person? Or are you voting for what's in the actual resolution? Politics and all of these decisions that we're trying to make for school board and the community and all these types of things, it's tough in a small town to take the emotion and the relationships out of it and just look at what you're voting on in a vacuum. But that's the goal. What does the freaking resolution say? I don't even know what Resolution 2045 up in Tullahoma is. And that's my point.
Kevin Simmons says most of the time it's what's in it for me and not the community.
Yeah. And so I push us all, humanity. Kaysen's like, oh, I can't save the world. I can only save my world. I'm not even thinking that I can do that. I'm just trying to, hey, anybody who's listening to the show this morning, if you get an opportunity to be in a situation like this, yes, I get it. It's hard to take yourself out of it. But why are you in it in the first place? If you're in it, if you're on the quarterback club, why are you on the quarterback club? To give the kids in the football program the best opportunity to succeed, both in life and on the field. If you're involved in the school board, why are you involved in the school board? Or why are you involved in an education platform at all? If you're a teacher, if you're a parent, what is the priority? It's to give your kids better opportunities to succeed than you ever had. Which also goes back to, at times, yesterday we were talking about the school board meeting, Chewy. They're talking about coming up with and they have a tremendous cell phone policy, which we're going to talk to Dr. Alsip here in the upcoming Monday, next Monday's show, next Mayhem Monday. We're going to talk to Dr. Alsip about the new cell phone policy. They're going to, they did the first vote yesterday on it, and they're going to do a second vote on it coming. But the principals of each of the schools got together and developed a cell phone policy, a communication device policy for the district as a whole. To this point, they have all had kind of individual ones, and they took what's worked for some schools and what hasn't worked for other schools. And they all got in a room. All the principals got in a room, and they talked about it, and they figured it out. And they said, this has worked really well. This hasn't. And they came up with, together, a policy. And when they were proposing it yesterday to the school board, one of the unfortunate parts of the conversation was the fact that in a lot of cases, the school is responsible for parenting kids' use of their devices because parents don't. And we complain so much about, oh, the school's teaching my kids this and the school's teaching my kids that. And I don't, you know what? The school teaches my kids, but I teach my kids how to behave. I am the parent of my kids. And if you're blaming the school for teaching your kids how to do certain things a certain way, or you don't like what that's a problem. And we've got a lot of parents in this community who they yell and shout when they don't like what their kids come home and learn from school, but they're not developing that relationship, that parenting relationship enough with their kids. They want to be buddies with their kids. And it's up to the school to be the disciplinarian. Like, what are we doing here? So Kevin Simmons says, come on, Joe, preach. I don't mean to, and I went from like one thing to a whole other, but it's a societal issue. And at the school board meeting yesterday, it really it frustrated me to hear, and I know that it happens. I know that we have parents who don't parent. But the real epidemic, let me tell you a story, Chewy, before we hit the break. There was, and I'm not going to call her out by name, but one of the principals at the school, she had a phone call with a parent. And the parent, she said, listen, this is the third or fourth time this has happened, or however many times this has happened with this communication device. And I've got to take the phone away. I've got to take the phone away. And the mom said, take it away for the rest of the year. For all I care, I'm sick and tired of that phone. Now, to me, what that sounds like is the parent relying upon the school to be the bad guy. Why is the school the one that has to take that kid's phone away? You're telling me that when your kid comes home, you don't have the gall, you don't have the wherewithal, you don't have the balls to tell your kid, give me the phone, you lost it. I had 2 kids with phones. Guess what? They don't have phones anymore. And my daughter had her birthday the other day, over the weekend, and desperately wanted a phone. She didn't get one because she's not mature enough, in my opinion, and I don't like the effect that it has upon my young kids. Call me the bad guy, call me a jerk, call me whatever you want. I don't care. It's my kid. And I'm going to parent them, not the school. I'm not going to have the school be the bad guy for me. And it's just an example. I know that the parent probably didn't even realize what they were doing in saying that. They were just sick and tired, and they responded emotionally and things like that in the situation. But think about it. Telling the principal, you be the bad guy, because I don't have the ability to take my kid's own phone away. I don't want to have to deal with that. Really? All right, we get a break in here. Be back on the other side. It is the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340, 1069, WCDT Winchester.
The starting lineup with Joe and Chewy is presented by Loco in Winchester. Right here in Winchester, Loco is doing things their own way. From locally roasted Loco coffee to a one-of-a-kind shop experience. It's a place that's built for the Franklin County community. So if you haven't stopped by yet, now's the time. Support local. Drink Loco coffee, fueling Franklin County mornings. Roasted right here in Franklin County. And don't forget to tune into the starting lineup, weekdays from 7 to 9. TC Simmons Insurance would like to congratulate the graduating seniors of Franklin County High School and Huntland High School, class of 2026. Life is full of unexpected turns, new opportunities, and big decisions. And today is the beginning of an exciting new chapter for each of you. As you move forward, stay confident, work hard, and never be afraid to bet on yourself. Your community is proud of what what you've accomplished and excited for what's ahead. Congratulations from TC Simmons Insurance.
From the 931 Go Weather Center, it's time for an ESPN Radio Winchester weather update, presented by Bennett's Pharmacy.
Looks like that precipitation is behind us because today's going to be a bright and sunny day with a high of all the way up to 79 degrees. Do got some calm winds coming in at around 5 miles per hour to wipe that sweat off your brim, but stay tuned to ESPN Radio Winchester for all of your summer weather updates.
At Bennett's Pharmacy in Winchester, we're more than a pharmacy. We're your partner in health. Conveniently located at 1201 Dinah Shore Boulevard, we're here to serve you with fast, friendly, and personalized service. Need prescriptions filled? Looking for over-the-counter products? We've got you covered. Plus, enjoy local delivery and expert advice from our caring team. Call us today at 931-967-2777 or stop by Bennett's Pharmacy at 1201 Dinah Shore Boulevard today.
I don't know what to tell you. I know it's not much, but this is the best they've got. You're listening to the starting lineup on ESPN Radio, WCDT Winchester.
All right, back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester. Best comment of the morning. Amy Crabtree says, Brett, can you please use a fake account with a different last name than me when you're talking about this publicly? And she's referring to him talking about the moon landing thing. Oh, gosh. Oh, I love it. Back here on a trending Tuesday. Yeah, because aliens is trending. UFOs is trending. What else is trending?
Probably WWE Raw, if I had to guess.
Probably. Let me venture over to the Twitterverse.
Something Donnie did, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. See, I try and avoid Twitter X.
Yeah, I do too.
The only time I ever go to it is once a week on Tuesdays, and then immediately after the show, I need to take a shower.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, Mother's Day is still trending.
Here's a question for the chat. Does anybody use Twitter? Like, actually, like, use it actively? Just enlighten me.
We might not be in a Twitter community.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, like, do they know? I don't know anybody who uses Twitter.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. So, from a social media standpoint, Twitter, I think, is the one that's dying. Is Instagram still like the big one that the youngins is using?
I think TikTok is like the main thing. And
TikTok.
Then, well, YouTube actually still dominates attention.
Yes, I know
people.
Snapchat. They're using a lot of Snapchat. You got it. Speaking of phones,
Snapchat. If I had a kid, I wouldn't like that. That freaks me out.
Yeah.
You know.
Speaking of phones and that type of stuff.
Brett came back and says, nope.
Plus, shut that down real quick.
Plus, you agree with me. So now I don't know where you're coming at me for.
Jeez, put Miss Amy on blast. China is trending.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Yep, I'm doing it.
Yep. They're kind of the embodiment of that.
Oh, gosh. Wemby.
What is that?
Victor Wembanyama. It's a basketball player.
Oh, okay.
Taco Tuesday. Ooh, it's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. It's 3 for Tuesday at Pizza Hut. You get a $3 personal pan.
3 for Tuesday.
Yeah.
Why do you know that?
I'm always scraping the deals on any of our pizza apps, you know, especially daily ones, dog.
He gets like the daily deals. He's got like 15 different pizza place apps.
You should see. I do. You should see my rewards points. It's insane.
Oh my gosh. Taco Tuesday.
Not a taco guy.
We didn't go. Last week was Cinco de Mayo, and we didn't go Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
We didn't go to get tacos. You're not a taco guy, though.
No, I'm not really a taco guy, but I like Mexican restaurants. Like showing up for the chips and beer and that kind of thing. Like I'm all about that. Like I order those big tall boys.
Yeah.
You know.
Yesterday on Chewy's show, he's talking about how many biscuits he could eat at Cracker Barrel. I think that we need to have like a contest, instead of a wing eating contest, we need to have like a biscuit eating contest.
Yeah, that would be kind of fun. Listen,
Yeah.
I think I could get down 20.
I think so. So if you'd be interested in participating in a biscuit eating contest, let us know.
Okay.
Could be a fundraiser. Hey, I learned. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, Jody Farrell jumped back in, and he said that he uses Twitter/X a lot, good for sports and politics. Good point. I didn't think about that because I'm not in either of those verses.
It is good for sports, but I have all the alerts that pop up on my phone.
Oh,
so
right.
I don't really. I get all those anyway. One of the things that I came across yesterday at the school board meeting, which we're going to get more into the school board meeting probably tomorrow or the next day. But one of the things that I came across was that the band desperately wants new uniforms. To the tune of, Chewy, each year, the school board allots them $20,000 to go towards instruments and some of the other needs that they have. And they've basically taken that $20,000 and converted it all, like the band is going to put it towards their uniform fund. They need these uniforms. Now, it's my understanding that these uniforms are not cheap. I've heard as much as $700 a piece. I don't think that that's actually where they're priced, but stop me if I'm lying. And if you have a band kid, let me know. Now, the challenge is a couple-fold. So, number one, we have the band boosters get the money from the football games, not from the football games, but from the concession stand at the football games.
Right.
Okay, and so the band is like, wow, all this money that gets put towards football and towards athletics and blah blah blah, and nobody ever thinks of us. Well, if the football team is better and more people go to the games, then guess what? More people buy food, and the band, as a result, will have more money in their boosters. But I do appreciate where they're coming from, in the fact that they need uniforms. They want uniforms. Their uniforms are like 15 years old, and maybe there is a fundraiser that we need to help them with. Maybe there is something that we need to do. And I don't know what that number looks like. What we need to do is we need to get with the band. This would be a great side mission for Katie. You love side missions.
I'm all about a side mission.
You love a side mission. I think this might be a great side mission for Katie, is figure out what does one band uniform cost? And then figure out has the band identified what it would cost for them to equip their band with all new uniforms? Like, what's the number that we're working for? Do we have any money? Like, get with the booster club. Do we have any money in the hopper to this point? What's the gap? Because if we know there's a number in mind, then, baby, all you got to do is just tell me go, and we'll raise some money for some new band uniforms. W's in the chat for band uniforms? Anyway. It was a side excursion.
Sure.
I wonder how many biscuits we would have to eat to accomplish getting new band uniforms.
I would eat what I would call an alarming amount of biscuits.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, to the point to where after a certain kind, like people putting their hands on my shoulders, like, okay, you're good.
So I think what we could do is we could register people. Everybody that we register, just $1 a biscuit. Mm-hmm. But if we register 100 people to pay us $100 or pay us $1 a biscuit, if we registered 100 people to pay us $1 per biscuit, and you and I each ate 20 biscuits.
Yeah.
The 100 biscuits would be a lot. If you and I each ate 20 biscuits at $100 a pop, what's 100 times 20?
That's $2,000.
Okay, we're going to need to eat a lot of biscuits.
Yeah.
But maybe we register more people than that.
Sure. Or maybe for businesses, $100 a biscuit.
Ooh,
something like that.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
$50 a bit. Something like that.
Listen,
I do like the idea though.
I think I could eat more than
you're
20.
just hungry.
I love biscuits. I mean, y'all saw me. Y'all saw me put down a pizza in about 20 minutes.
You housed an entire pizza. That was an impressive, and again, alarming at that pace. Katie says, I'm inquiring on the price of uniforms now.
All right.
Andrew also jumped back in saying, good morning. Good morning, Andrew.
And don't tell me that it's not possible, because we figured it out with the Guardian caps. We figured it out. Y'all didn't even know nothing about that.
Yeah.
But Huntland and Franklin County have Guardian caps now. Just FYI. It was less about what we had to do and more about what, But there were some people involved, and we were one of them. Anyway, all right. So where was I going?
Well, you were kind of on this track with supporting local, things like the band and everything, and then we started talking about biscuits because that's what I brought up on my show yesterday.
Yeah. No. Okay. I know where I was going.
Okay.
It was completely unrelated to any of that.
I kind of figured.
Yeah. So I wanted to have this conversation today on the show. I heard this morning, I was listening to that show that comes on before us from ESPN. What is it? Unsportsmanlike?
I think so.
Don't do that. You can't do that. You can't yawn at me. I took the pre-workout, and I've got the local coffee and all the things. You know what? I almost yawned, and my body was like, nope, not today. You're not tired.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. My question to listeners, they were talking about games that they're looking forward to the most in the NFL. Like, I'm looking forward to the Bears and the Bills, and I'm looking forward to this game and that game. And it got me to wondering, the Titans, as a Browns fan, I know who my biggest rivals are. I've got the Ravens because they stole the Browns, and I got the Steelers, who used to be the Browns' biggest rival. And they're both in the division. And Bears fans know, they got the Packers. And every team in the NFL has, like, their rival. The Dolphins and the Bills used to be a huge rivalry back when they were the top two teams in the AFC East. Or AFC, what was it? It wasn't, because you had the North, the Central, and I don't know. But they were a huge rivalry. You have all of these rivalries, and then you've got the Titans, who used to be the Oilers. Now, the Titans are an interesting quandary, Chewy, because I don't think that the Titans have one true, ultimate, be-all, end-all rival. And what's even weirder about that is certainly not within the division. They have 4 teams in the division that they've got rivalries with, but not to the level of, like, Tennessee, Alabama, like a hated rival. So let's take a look at the teams within the division, right? You got the Jaguars. They have been in the same division with the Jaguars since the Jaguars basically came into the league, I think. Because I want to say those teams were all in the AFC Central together. You had it was the Oilers, the Browns, the Steelers, the Bengals, and when the Jaguars came into the league, I think the Jaguars were in the division with them. I think that's the division they put them in. So when they separated the divisions and put the Titans in the division that they're in, they put the Jaguars in there with them. They have like the longest existing rivalry with the Jaguars, but I don't think that there's any kind of hatred towards Jacksonville.
Yeah.
They haven't been good enough to hate. Somebody's got to you got to have a
reason to be hated.
Yeah, like both teams got to be good at the same time, and you got to compete in some really important games for there to be hatred and rivalry. Now, you could make a case for the Texans, but here's the funny thing is we kind of mock Houston more than anything because we took their team. Mm-hmm. And the Texans are only more like a recent development as far as being any good. But also, again, we haven't really played in any high-stakes games, or at least not many. They've just got that familiarity, and, once a year we mock them by wearing Oilers gear when we beat them here at home in Tennessee. Now, the biggest one in the division, I would say, is the Colts, because the Colts and the Titans have competed for the division on multiple occasions. but more so because Peyton Manning played at Tennessee, played at the University of Tennessee, and then went on to play for the Colts. And then the Colts pretty much dominated the division for quite a while Peyton Manning was there. So there was a little bit of trauma there as far as Titans fan is concerned. But Peyton Manning brings the Tennessee connection, and the Titans were really chasing Indy for you. It probably seems like, to Indianapolis, it probably seems like we have a rivalry with them, but I don't know if Indy cares as much about us. Does Indy hate us the way that we hate Indy? Now, my biggest case for a rivalry, Chewy, that takes me to the Ravens, the Baltimore Ravens.
That one was one that someone brought up.
Right, which is really weird because the Titans, when they came to Tennessee, they were the Oilers. And so they were originally in the division with the same division with the Ravens, which is really weird. The Oilers used to be in the division with the Browns. The Browns moved to Baltimore. Now the Oilers have a kind of a rivalry, I guess, with Baltimore. But then the Browns came back, and then you added the Jaguars into the mix, and then they split the division up. It was just a whole weird thing. But since that time, you had the playoff heartbreak in, I think it was 2000. You had Ray Lewis and Eddie George, which was when you look back at the annals, Chewy, the annals of history when it comes to the NFL, Ray Lewis and Eddie George is one of those iconic kind of. They need to make that rivalry between those two guys into a statue. You know?
Yeah, like when you walk up, it's got that bronze, and they're both. Yeah,
that needs to be at the Hall of Fame. When you look back at two of the greatest competitors in the 2000 era, man, Eddie George and Ray Lewis. Steve McNair, who was on the Titans, left and went to Baltimore. They kind of played with a similar style, similar identity. Back in the day, play good defense, run the crap out of the ball. Ugh. Hard nose running the. Oh, by the way, not only did Steve McNair go from the Titans to the Ravens, but so did Derrick Henry.
Wow. Okay. So maybe they just kind of hate the Ravens because they're cherry picking some players.
You got these two organizations that are built very similar. They kind of define themselves as a franchise through the style of play, through the toughness and things like that. I think that, hands down, no doubt about it, Baltimore is the Tennessee Titans' biggest rival, which is weird to me because they're not in the same division.
Sure.
And I just want to ask: am I wrong, Titans fan? Is there anybody that you hate more? Now, like me, I have a visceral reaction to Baltimore. I can't stand the Ravens.
But there's multiple reasons to that, though.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, when a city steals your team, we'll just start right there.
Yeah.
And then goes on to win Super Bowls, and takes half of your players to do so.
There is something to be said, though, about what you're saying, because both the Titans and the Ravens have the similar history of, being the other team that moved somewhere else, too.
Mm-hmm.
Where they both kind
Interesting
of align.
point.
They kind of align thematically as well to be rivals because they're both kind of doing the same thing. So I'm assuming the Titans' current reputation has not always been what it has been.
I mean, like a lot of teams, yeah, it's ebbed and flowed. I mean, it was not very long ago that the Titans were in the AFC Championship game. Let's not forget. The Titans were like a play away, and I think it was under Vrabel. Now, again, I apologize for my knowledge of Titans history. I'm not a Titans fan, and while I do keep up with them, it's not as in-depth as like the Cleveland. I can't tell you their history like I can the Cleveland Browns.
Sure.
But I think just a few years ago, they went to the AFC Championship game with Vrabel as their head coach, Derrick Henry in the backfield. I want to say Ryan Tannehill was the quarterback, and they were very, very close to going to the Super Bowl. Now, what's interesting about that is that whole team gets kind of forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
That whole, I mean, heck, I can't even remember. But I can tell you, Steve McNair, Derek Mason, Frank Wycheck, the Music City Miracle, all of that stuff. You know the difference between the team that went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Rams versus the team just a few years ago? A miracle. Because the other team didn't win another game either. They lost in the Super Bowl. And the only reason they got past the Bills was because of an absolute flipping miracle. And nobody remembers the team just a few years ago that was almost just as close to the Super Bowl. If they had had a miracle, they'd have been there too. But I think it was the Ravens. I think they lost to the Ravens in the championship game.
It makes sense to me.
Who I believe the Ravens went on to win the Super Bowl. So I think that the Ravens are by far their biggest rival. But it's just interesting to me.
Well, let us know on the FMO Facebook stream. A couple people did jump in. Jody came back saying a telethon where people donate the amount of the cost of the uniform or half a uniform. That'd be fun. I enjoy. That was one of the first things we did when I joined a couple of years ago was a telethon. Kevin Simmons says Google price for the band uniforms: stock $200 to $300, mid range $320 to $500, and then premium $500 to $800. And then Brett came back and complaining about the way you said Jaguar.
Jaguar.
Yeah, he says
Jaguar.
He
Is
says,
that not how you say
He
it?
says, Joe, did you just say Jaguar?
Jaguar.
What's a Jaguar, Joe?
What do you call them?
Jaguar. I think
Jaguar. Jaguar.
You are saying like wire instead of war.
They're the Jaguars.
I didn't notice it until Brett pointed it out, to be honest with you. And I do hear it now, though. Like a jag wire. Like that's like a jag wire is the wire that's underneath your the steering wheel. And you know when people are hot wiring cars, that's what they're doing. You hit the jag wires together and it starts the car. That's why it makes the sound that kind of sounds like a Jaguar. That wow sort of noise. That's why they call it a Jaguar.
You totally just made that up.
Oh, yeah. Straight up pulled it right out of my rear.
What does it mean with Chewy?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. I thought the Jaguar was like a wire that was – I thought you were going to go like it's that wire that's underneath a Jaguar car.
Well, no. You know there's also the Jag input. It's JAG. It's a kind of wire, Jag. So you gotta have a Jag wire. No,
Jag is like the type of attorneys in the Navy. They're Jag. You remember that show, Jag?
Hit us up in the FMO Facebook stream. Katie says, Brett, did you change his name to Joe?
I don't understand what?
Jaguar Joe. That's what we need to start calling you, dog.
Oh, what's a Jaguar Joe? Jaguar Joe? No, I'm not Jaguar Joe.
Jaguar Joe.
No,
I like
chill
it.
out.
That's what I'm going to call you from now.
No, you can't. Don't call me something that I don't want you to call me because then it'll stick and people will call me Jaguar Joe. And that's weird. Stop it.
You just said it, dude.
Stop it.
You need to be careful.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh,
Brett's
boy.
like, huh? LOL. I don't know what Katie was trying to say there. She might be voice texting Brett. Anyway, okay. I think that we've determined nobody's arguing with me that the Ravens are their number one rival.
I think you're right, and also just thematically it makes sense.
Yeah,
you know, I get fits to like two conniving teams who ran off and stole a thing.
Yeah,
and now they're both mad at each other.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Which, by the way, our uniforms, the new Titans uniforms, are much better than the new Ravens uniforms. The Ravens were like, "Oh, we're getting new uniforms," and they basically like didn't do anything.
Yeah.
They tweaked like a very small details here and there. And everybody's like, wait, huh? If you look at them side by side, they're like, wait, what did we change? You got to really get into the nitty gritty to find it.
Kevin said, I always thought Jacksonville or Houston was Titans' biggest rival.
Jacksonville or Houston?
Houston makes sense. Like that I get.
So I think that Houston or Jackson, okay. So Houston, to be quite honest, Houston probably hates Tennessee the way that the Browns fans hate Baltimore.
Right, not out of conflict.
I think that Houston, at its heart, and like the background, the like what's behind that rivalry, I think that could be, should be, maybe eventually even will be the biggest rivalry. I think what's weird about it's like circumstantial with Baltimore, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could be Baltimore could be any other team. If there was another team out there that had stolen Steve McNair and Derrick Henry and knocked them out of the playoffs multiple times and kind of competed, again, high-level games. We're talking about they've competed with each other at high-level games. If it was the Bills, if the Titans were playing the Bills in like the AFC Championship game every year, like how we beat them in the Music City Miracle, I think circumstantially it could be any team. It just so happens that every time something happens, it's the freaking Ravens, right?
Sounds like the Ravens are the issue here.
That's it right there. You just hit the nail on the head.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that there's anybody in, like any fans in the NFL that likes the Ravens and their fan base.
See?
Causing
nothing but a ruckus.
Let me put it this way. Like, you stole the Ravens. You stole the Browns. Now, Titans fans are going to be like, well, yeah, but we stole the Oilers. Yeah, the Oilers freaking sucked. We're not worried. The Oilers, when they were in Houston, no offense, Katie, the Oilers were garbage in Houston, okay? Let's just be honest. The best thing that ever happened to the Houston Oilers was that they moved to Tennessee and became the Titans.
Dang, John.
Okay? So it's not the same. And the Browns, people are going to say, well, the Browns are really bad. No, the new Browns are really bad. The old Browns were really good. The old Browns had this heritage, had this, I mean, they won all these NFL championships. They were on the verge in the late 80s. They were back at it. You had Red Right 88. They were always right there as far as the AFC is concerned. And if they had stayed in Cleveland, their first draft pick when they moved to Baltimore was Ray Lewis. Could you imagine Ray Lewis as a Cleveland Brown? I mean, all of that crap that happened and all the winning that occurred for Baltimore in Baltimore would have been with the Cleveland Browns. So it's not the same, okay? Now, as far as the Ravens are concerned, I am so sick and tired of hearing about Lamar Jackson winning regular season games. Dude can't win a playoff game. I'm so sick and tired of, and I love Derrick Henry, but, you know, Derrick Henry is a Titan. And
see,
I'm so sick and tired of him rushing for yards for the wrong team. I'm tired of the Ravens, and I think everybody should be. I think Bills fans are tired of the Ravens. I think that Chiefs fans are tired of the Ravens, and I don't even like Chiefs fans. I think that every AFC team hates I know that Steeler fan hates the Ravens. I mean, is there anybody who says, you know what, Baltimore, they're not that bad? No, everybody freaking hates Baltimore. And two, on top of that, your colors are black, which is a cool color, and purple. You know, I know you like purple.
I was about to say, I kind of like the color scheme.
I don't.
They ruin it, though. They don't do it right. They don't wear it right. They see, even I can agree with that. Like, they don't mix it well. And it's a weird purple. It's not like a royal purple or like a gothic purple.
Right.
It's like a weird, like, crayon purple.
Yeah. I don't know. I've just determined that I think that the Ravens are the most hated franchise in the NFL.
They are the toxic member of the group. Okay?
Yeah.
And they are there to do nothing but cause drama.
Yes. To your point, when you got a group of friends and there's always drama and there's always one person that's at the center of it, you are the problem.
Yes. And what do? You stop hanging out with them.
Yeah.
So that's what we got to do. We said stop talking about the Ravens. Stop looking at the Ravens.
I think we should relegate the Ravens to like European football.
Ooh, Canadian football.
Oh, yeah.
Kick them up north.
I mean, they're kind of close to the
Yeah,
they
there
could
you
be
go.
the first American-Canadian football team.
Sure. Yeah.
The Browns better be careful. They'll end up that'll happen to Cleveland.
Kevin Simmons says, what makes the Browns bad is their owner. And
Yeah.
then Brett Crabtree says, my brother likes the Ravens.
Which is funny about the Browns because everybody hates the Browns owner, but it's funny because Jimmy Haslam is actually from Tennessee. He's a huge Tennessee Vols booster, and he owns Pilot Flying J. And the dude is like the worst NFL owner. I thought we had a bad NFL owner before. Man, is our that. So here's the thing. After we get done raising money for the band uniforms, how about we do this? Let's all get. Can we all band together? I know the Titans are like in Tennessee, and that'd be closer. But I think the Browns are probably more affordable. Let's band together and we can buy the Browns as like a community, make it a public team.
Build a stadium for them right here in the backyard.
Yeah, they'll be the Cleveland Browns of Winchester, Tennessee. I'd go for it.
Oh, my God. That's funny. I like it.
No, they're supposedly building a new stadium, Chewy. Indoor stadium. Could you forget who you are more than being the Cleveland Browns and building an indoor stadium?
I don't know, dude. If I can have air conditioning, like
football is meant to be played outside.
Okay.
Especially when you're again, like they did this with the uniforms. They were one of the classic uniforms in all the NFL. And they're like, hey, you know what would be awesome is we've got these uniforms that are very retro, very classic, very very Green Bay Packer-ish. Let's keep our helmets that have no logo on them. But let's change the entire uniform and bastardize the entire uniform and make it look like crap. They did that a few years ago, and they've been broken ever since. I don't know. I don't know why it always comes back to the Browns. We were talking about the Titans' biggest rival. Just so happens to be the Browns' biggest rival, and everybody else's apparently.
Yeah.
Because nobody likes the Ravens, and that's how we're going to end today's show.
Except for Seth, apparently. So
Seth likes my brother likes the Ravens. Seth?
We need to get him on here and explain his, give his deposition.
How do you become a Ravens fan, Seth? Let me just ask you that. How do you become a Ravens fan?
It's a good question. What went wrong?
The Ravens suck. And like I said, that's how we're going to end the show. Coming up next, it is Reliable Rentals Swap and Shop with Chewy. And make sure to tune in later today from 2 to 4 p.m. for Unleashed with the Wookiee one right here on ESPN Radio, 1340, 106.9, WCDT Winchester.
ESPN app, your smart speaker. Tune in and watch ESPN. And however you found us, we're glad you did because we're watching David Dennis Jr.